Hello, everyone. I am back. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I did try to create a video earlier and began to have technical visual difficulties. And so I had to take down that video and I have come on here to start again. First of all, welcome to Vlog Media Breeze. For those of you who are new here, please, if you would be so kind as to click the like, subscribe, and the notifications bell. Also, as we go along, just get down in the comments and talk to me about the content I'm bringing to you today and let me know what you think about it. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. I'm open to that. You will not be the first to disagree with me, okay? And I will also recognize your comments by putting them onto the screen to give you a voice as well. So let's get right into it, okay? Uh, Here we go. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, Episode 19. The title is Lo-And-Be-Holt. That's Holt. Okay, that's a play on words there with that Martel Holt's last name. It starts out with Tiffany and Mel in Mel's office because Mel has called Tiffany over to help her to interview some interns from Alabama A&M. That's Mel's alma mater. Tiffany is there. I really am beginning to believe that Tiffany did lose her job at the Chamber of Commerce because she is always at Mel's office or always around during the times of day that the Chamber of Commerce is actually operating, you know, and having functions because I know the chamber here in Charlotte, North Carolina is very busy and I have attended some of their events and I still go. And generally they're giving events or they're very busy and maybe that's just Charlotte because it's a larger city. But I would also think that Huntsville's chamber is very busy as well. They are going to interview the interns and as they are sitting there, Tiffany starts to open up to Mel about a conversation she had with Tisha Scott at Destiny's event. Remember, Destiny gave an event in the last episode. It was out on the grass. She had the canopy there. It was a beautiful event. At that event, Tisha took Tiffany aside and in order to get to know her better, because even though they talked a little bit in Vegas, Tisha wants to know more about Tiffany. And Tisha also knew of Tiffany prior to her coming on the show because she knew her through the chamber. At Destiny's event, Tisha, all she did was, she said to Tiffany, she said, I don't know much about Tiffany. I mean, I know she's married, I know she's divorced, I know she has kids, but I really don't know that much about her, like what are her struggles? I mean, for example, tell me about a time when you had a difficult time in your life and how you overcame it. That is the job interview question of all times, guys. Tell me about a difficult time in your life and how you overcame it. That is, if you've gone on a job interview in the past 15 years, that's the one question they will always ask you in a job interview. And for those of you who may not know, when they do ask you that question, what you want to do is keep it relatable to the job, short and sweet. Just talk to them about a success that you've had, but how you came to that success after having possibly a challenge getting there. You never want to include your marriage, your divorce, or anything in your personal life in that question. But Tisha and Tiffany can because they are trying to get to know each other on a personal level, or at least Tisha was trying to get to know Tiffany on a personal level. I said that to give you the background of why Tiffany told Mel that Tisha was being messy when she called her aside to get to know her. She told Mel that Tisha was just trying to get dirt on her. Then she says this to Mel. She says, she literally asked me, where is the dirt on Tiffany? Now, literally means you literally did it, not figuratively did it. You literally. Tisha did not literally ask where the dirt was on Tiffany. Tiffany does things like this all of the time, which leads to the concept that she exhibits some delusional behaviors and may need to seek a life strategist, a life counselor, a therapist, whomever, because she often does this. If you follow Tiffany and the way she reacts to people, her responses to people, her communication with other people, that is her ethos. That's her ethos. That's not a good ethos to be around. Melody, of course, is in awe that Tisha would do such a thing. So anyway, the let's go to the next scene. The next scene is because most of this episode is about Melody's event, her video premiere, Telltale Signs. And that's where a lot of the things take place, right? So we have here, they are showing the scenes of the event, which look beautiful. The aesthetics of the event really look good. And I'm so proud of Mel in this moment. As I said in the video that I was trying to create earlier, I believe Band did an outstanding job with Melody because Melody has come through a lot, as we see. If you've watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, even her start on the show, it was a challenge because Tisha and Kimmy tried to give her a hard time in the beginning. And I that is where I first related to Mel. Because sometimes as women, other women will try to challenge your spirit. Because they want to bring you down to where they are. They think you should be thinking like they think. I don't want to think like you. I like me and the way I think. And I saw that in the beginning of episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville with Tisha and Kimmy trying to do that to Mel. And that made me like Mel because I could relate to her in those events. They've come forward, they've moved forward in their relationships, and a lot of that weight of moving forward was put on Mel making things happen in the relationship. It really was. And I commend her for that. So I don't have a lot of favorites on these shows. I know I love Kyle on Real Housewives. I do Real Housewives commentaries here as well. But I have other favorites as well. I like Kenya, but then I may have more than one because I also like Candy. Okay. Um, but on Love and Marriage Huntsville, it's hands down male from the beginning. And so I'm going to move forward here and tell you that her interns are there at the video premiere. And she's telling her manager that it is important for her interns to be on point. They need to be professional and kind and nice to everyone. As I was listening to her talk to the manager, I began to think it would be a good idea if, as she brings the interns on, to extend a reality show for the interns and call it Huntsville Interns or something like that, and just have another reality show that she executive produces and let them reveal some of their life, what it's like to get through college on a daily basis. That would be excellent. It's an all white event. And it's beautiful. A lot of them are really dressed very beautifully. I'm gonna say this. I Tisha's beautiful. I love beautiful chocolate women. I'm a chocolate woman. Chocolate is for me that we are black women, and I love seeing. And I didn't even know this until I got in my 50s, and I am so glad that I didn't have this experience as I was growing into womanhood. Uh, Not that I did not know there were color issues in the Black community, I did, but they have really come full frontal to a point where I didn't even there are things that I didn't even realize were happening, and it just really has made me be very glad to be a pure brown chocolate woman. It really has. So when I see other gorgeous chocolate Black women like Tisha, I'm happy. and she is beautiful. Even though I don't always like some of the things she does on the show, I like her, and I like the way she dresses. She's stylish. She's fashionable. She has good taste, and I say that just to say that this is the first time all season that I did not like her attire. She came to the event and her attire, I think it was the feathery and the spaghetti. I'm not a spaghetti straps person. So if you are a spaghetti straps person, you probably did like her attire. I didn't, mainly because of the spaghetti straps and then the fur. It just kind of looked a little bit tacky for her. I loved her hair back in the bun. Everything else about her looked real beautiful. Now, that being said, her outfit looked way better than Destiny's. Destiny, I have no idea what she was doing. It was all discombobulated. And it was just all, I could do a whole video on Destiny because I think Destiny has some things that she needs to really start working on internally so that she can make that match what she's trying to do externally as a woman in the community there in Huntsville. I digress on that. They are all in a circle talking, and Tiffany says she expected Martel to be at the event. This is the same Tiffany, just like Destiny said in her confessional, who has complained about Martel and Mel being together at events because they always have an argument. Yet she expected Martel to be at the event. Hold on to that. Hold on to what I told you earlier about Tiffany when she's in Mel's office and she just blatantly lied about what Tisha said to her, because Tisha did not literally say, "I want to know what the dirt is on Tiffany." And now she's saying that she expected Martell to be at the event. The event was beautiful. They had the balloons, the gold and white balloons. They had telltale signs. Whoever did this event, when I do an event, I'm going to need to call them and have them come do one for me, because that was immaculate, that event. The looks, the aesthetics of it were just beautiful. And I think it was on the same property where she did the video actually. The girl who's pregnant, what is her name? I can't remember her name, but I read about her and I can't even remember her name. I know she's worth about 15 mil there in Huntsville. That was one of the first things that came up when I read about her. Destiny to me is so annoying. If you will listen to my reviews, I go from one thing to another because I deal with the episode that I'm dealing with whenever I come over here to give my commentary. So there may be previous episodes where you heard me be pro Destiny. On this one, I'm not pro Destiny. She was so annoying and inappropriate. I couldn't take it. I was just like so done. I was like, get her off the camera, please. Okay. Uh, I digress on that. Tisha's going around telling everybody they're a hot girl, they look good, because when you go to these events, you get excited to be there. I've been to events here in Charlotte. Well, not as many as Atlanta. When I lived in Atlanta, I used to go to events all the time. One of the events that they give in Atlanta is the Hearts and Chocolate. I don't know if they still give that, but it's usually in February. It's the Hearts and Chocolate Ball, and I like that event. I like that the governor is there. All the should do people are there. You dress up, and it's a daytime event. Here in Charlotte, I've done a lot of networking events, but I haven't really, like, I still have a network of people in Atlanta and even in Rhode Island that I deal with till this day. I don't really have that same network in Charlotte. It's just, I don't think I've really cared about connecting since we moved to Charlotte. And this is my home state. But anyway, I digress on that. I'm saying that to say that you could see that Tisha was really excited to be there. When you go to those events, once you get there, the the whole atmosphere, the environment is exciting to be in. And I could see that excitement in Tisha as she was going around, walking over to Destiny, talking about, hey, hot girl, hot, stuff like that. Mel was in her room waiting, and Mel was in a very solemn state, it appeared. She was not in an exciting state. She was it looked like when the camera was on her, she was sitting on the bed, and it looked like she had just received some information that she was not happy about. Did Am I the only one who noticed that about Mel? She had just received some information she was not happy about, because it was like they showed when she walked into the vent and she was, really joyful and excited. And then the next time we see her, she's in the room sitting on the bed looking at her cell phone, and her mom is there standing with her. And her mom may know about the news that Mel just got as well. Because her mom asked her, "Do you want me to go get you some gum?" And she's like, "No, I just want you to stay in here." It was almost like she was saying to her mother, "Whatever just happened out there, or whatever's about to happen out there, I don't want you involved in it." You know? Um, Her mother may have been saying, "Do you want me to go get you some gum?" because she wanted to exit the room to see if whatever had just happened was no longer happening. And the reason I want to say that in this instance, you guys, is in the previews to this finale, the previews showed an ambulance showing up at the event. The preview showed Martel showing his butt at the event. Like he and Melody were having some words. It sounded as if they were debating. And when we finally have the finale, that's what I was. Not that I want trouble, but I saw that in the previews, and so I wanted to see. Okay, what was all of that about? And this finale did not provide that part of the production. And because it didn't provide that part of the production that we saw in the previews, I wondered if what we saw in the previews had anything to do with why Mel was on the bed like that. I want in the reunion, I want Carlos King to let us know what happened. Why did they show us all of that? And then when we get to the finale, none of that was there. If you guys remember that, let me know. If you follow Love and Marriage Huntsville and you saw the previews for the finale and it looked like it was going to be a lot of negative things going on, the ambulance, Martel blowing up at Melody, and things like that. If you saw those things, let me know. The manager comes into the room, and she asks Mel if everything is okay, and Mel tells her no, because we're an hour and a half behind, and I don't like to be late. I like to be on time. And so Mel is just in a different kind of mood. Next, it goes outside the room and it shows the cast. They're in a circle. Wanda is there. Marceau, Tisha, Destiny, Tiffany, and her husband Louis are there. And they're talking about, Marceau is asking his mother-in-law, which one would you choose over the other one? Communication, motivation, or sex? I mean, I should say the S word, right? I'm going to pause here because I see some comments here. It says that conversation Destiny had with Melody should have taken place episode 1, where she disclosed her divorce was final. Um, well, we haven't gotten to that part yet. Simply Beautiful. We haven't gotten to that part yet. Oh, yes, Stormy is her name. You're saying Stormy is the name of the girl. Yes, the wealthy woman where they had the video shoot. That I couldn't remember her name. Thank you for that, Simply Beautiful. So, um, they're in that circle, and Wanda has the audacity to start giving other people advice about marriage. Now, we're talking about a woman who is still married and will not divorce her husband, and she has a boyfriend on the side. Uh, can somebody make that make sense for me? Because it doesn't. It doesn't. And the fact that she's so open about it on a show that is getting about a million or more uh, views every Saturday night, she has to know that her husband now knows that she has a boyfriend on the side, and her boyfriend now knows she's married. If her husband wants to divorce her, he can divorce her and give her nothing. If he has anything to give, he doesn't have to give it now because she's made that public. What a dumb move that was. So not only is it an immoral move, but it's a dumb immoral move. Wanda's very worldly. And when I say worldly, I mean worldly in a kind of kooky way. Because I'm a woman of a certain age, as they say, and Wanda is probably about my age. And I want to be clear, I don't know any women like Wanda. I do not know any women like Wanda. Who are about my age. I don't. Maybe it's for the show. Who knows? But as they're having this conversation, of course, Kimmy's conscience is pricked, right? Please don't talk about side chicks and extra husbands and wives around Kimmy because she just that sends her antennas all the way off. She brings up, she says, it seems like we always end up talking about this, right? For some reason. And they're like, what? Talk about it seems like we always end up talking about side pieces, extra husbands, extra wives. So she is really feeling guilty for some reason because this is the third or fourth time this season that she has been concerned about stuff like that. I really believe that Kimmy is carrying a torch against Tisha because of Tisha bringing up to Maurice the question as to whether or not he would still be with Kiowa if Kimmy had not gotten involved. Kimmy has carried that torch the rest of the season from that point on. And she knows it's being aired because she sees the cameras are there. Every time the cameras are there, she sees them. So she knows that we are hearing this, or she knows that the potential for viewers to hear what's being said is going to happen. So now when the cameras are on her, she's, she doesn't know this, but she's really showing herself a little bit. She's upset. Anyway, she goes on and she brings up the fact that she was upset because Patricia was supposed to be there. Remember, Patricia is the person who in last episode was at Kimmy's house and they were having a discussion outside, then they took it inside. And I don't know why Patricia wasn't here because I'm sure because she seems like the kind of person if she had been invited to the video premiere, she would have showed up. I'm thinking production did not want her at the event because they had a different kind of ending for this finale. So they probably did not want her at the event. But Kimmy's disappointed in that because she says she was supposed to come. As soon as Kimmy brings up Patricia, Tisha is like, oh, yeah, I know Patricia. And you can tell by her tone that she is not too privy on Patricia. And then in her confessional, she answers the question I wanted to know because I wanted to know why did Maurice end up staying at Patricia's house? What was going on there? Why was he here at her house? So Tisha answers that because Mark is Maurice's brother and he was married to Patricia. So while he was getting a divorce, he went to stay with Patricia. And so that answered that question for me. Those Scott brothers, everybody's name must be an M. You have Marceau, Maurice, now you have Mark, and I think their sister's name even begins with an M, the one who works for Maurice in the law office. Now Wanda goes out. She pulls Van aside. She wants to have a conversation with Van. Van is Mel's mother. And Van is like, "Do I have to?" And I'm like, "No, you don't, Van. If I were you, I would just say, 'No, you cannot talk to me.'" And I'm not kidding. If someone like Wanda walked over to me and I knew that there was a negative history with her and she walked over and wanted to talk to me, I wouldn't go talk to her in private. She would have to just stand there and apologize to me before I would do anything. And I would accept her apology and just let her go. Um, but we learned in their conversation, Wanda is a bully. She really is a bully. She thinks that people are supposed to only accept her for who she is. And if they don't accept her for who she is, she's going to have a conversation with them about it. No one has to accept you, Wanda. People, I mean, other than the show, you're good for the show. But outside the show, I wouldn't say two words to you. No one wants to have that kind of drama in their life or those kinds of friends who will take their earrings off and their shoes off and just put the Vaseline on, and you're a grown woman and you're going to be out here in the street fighting? No. Get out of my space. I like Van. I like Melody and I like Van. Van did a good job with Melody. But Van tells Wanda that she's not allowed to give her daughter any advice and she shouldn't be giving Melody advice. Wanda, if she was any kind of woman, she would have respected that. She would have said, "Okay, you know what? I respect that. If I want to say something, is it okay for me to come to you instead of saying it out loud?" Something like that. Something that would really balance out the relationship. But no, she's like, "Well, if I see it on social media, it's out there. I can say it if I want to say it." No. If you want to be one of those people, go be one of those people, but don't bring it in my face. But Van tells her, you know, if you continue to give my daughter advice, you're going to get the same response that I gave you the last time. So Van is not afraid of Wanda, and Van doesn't do ghetto. And kudos to her for that. I'm glad she doesn't. And I'm glad she let Wanda know she doesn't do ghetto. So next, they go back to the circle where Tiffany and Lewis, Marceau and Tisha, Destiny and Kimmy and Maurice are. Actually, no, the men are not there. It's just the ladies. It is, let's see, let me go from left to right. We have Tisha, Tiffany, Kimmy, and Destiny. And Tisha is saying, she brings up she in this circle brings up the conversation that she had with Tiffany, where she wanted to know more about Tiffany. And she said, I was telling Tiffany, you got divorced, and I just wanted to know more about you. And you said that and I asked you, well, why? Why did you get divorced? Was it because he cheated? Was it money? Why did you get divorced? And you just said to me, you just wanted more. And then Tiffany goes on to say she did not say she wanted more. I was so happy whenever the cameras flashed back and showed her saying she wanted more. So that's the other thing with Tiffany. I want to pause here and give my little commentary on Tiffany for a bit. Tiffany is a delusional woman. She has bad negative ethos, very bad ethos. If you look at how her mind works, you guys, and I know people don't like to hear me talk about these kinds of things, but I like to talk about them because I do believe that this world is made up of good and evil. Really, it is. And when you see people having a disagreement, generally, that's what it boils down to. And the reason I believe that is because that's what the Bible says. And I believe God. Tiffany exemplifies evil. She is very delusional. Well, we all exemplify evil. That's why Christ died on the cross, right? But I'm just saying, overall, Tiffany is a person who she intakes information and then it gets in her mind and she discombobulates it. And whenever it comes out in a very delusional way. She's not in tune to what she's doing or what is happening, and that's a problem. She needs to really talk to someone about sorting that out. And whenever I see her behavior like this, it makes me believe she was let go from a place like the chamber. It makes me believe that maybe there was some things going on there where they saw this type of person and felt like she didn't represent the chamber. Now, I'm not putting her down for that reason or anything like that. She and I are very different people, definitely. And I've been terminated from a job or two or three or four or seven in my life. Okay. So I'm not putting her down for being terminated from the chamber. I'm just saying that her thought process, and I know people who work at the chamber, is different. They are not usually delusional people. She says things that she says things that didn't happen, or someone will say something to her and she goes right behind their back, her and Lewis both, and they will say something about that person in a different way than they said it to their face. For example, when Maurice brought it to her attention about his son, Maurice Jr., she sat there and cried and apologized and was sad about it. And then next thing, her and Lewis are talking crap about it. You know, Maurice made me feel uncomfortable. You little bit. You sat there and you cried and you apologized. And now a couple of days later, you don't like it? She's irresponsible. And I don't like her. Is it okay for me to say that? I don't like Tiffany. I don't even like her on the show. I don't like her on the show. I want to see a different kind of married. I mean, it's enough that we're having to deal with Tisha, and I love Tisha on the show. We can't have it go to the extreme of having a Tiffany. I'm wondering if Mel brought her on the show too, because maybe Mel knows she was let go from the chamber, or maybe not. Maybe not. I'm going to say this too with Destiny, because Destiny, if she is not bringing it, if she's not going to talk about why she got divorced, if we're not going to see her husband's restaurant business, because some of us here, we're trying to get us a trip to go to Huntsville and we want to go eat at his restaurant. We want to go to Black and we want to enjoy Huntsville. And so if Destiny can't talk about all those things, I think that they should just have her on as like an acquaintance of the show or someone that they show from time to time, because she seems to be trying to maneuver into everyone else's life in order not to talk about her own. Or she tries to get upset at Mel, get mad at Mel about something stupid. Like she took Mel aside. Destiny is like getting on my last nerve, you guys. It's so inappropriate. This is someone's beautiful event. If you are ever at someone's event where they are being celebrated, don't take them away from their event just because you have something you want to hash out. Let them enjoy their event and you talk to them afterwards, a couple of weeks afterwards, or you should have had that conversation beforehand, actually. Oh, Mel, come and let me talk to you. Trying to get camera time so that she can look like she's doing something. No, don't do that, Destiny. We want you off because of that. People didn't like that. We want to know, did you really cheat on your husband? And that's why he divorced your AAA. Okay. A double, what else? We want to know um about your business, because every time they show it, there's no one in there buying anything. Um we want to know, so we want to talk about the specifics of where your relationship is now with your mother and how it got there. That is what we want to know. Now, you had your father come on and show his face. Okay, that's good. He showed his face. That's good. Okay. You want to create drama for someone else's life Like you were getting in Martell and Melody's marriage. Stay out of their marriage. You're not married to Martell. I don't care if he is your friend. And listen, why do you need to be friends with him? He was married to Mel. Stop, women, stop thinking that if you are a married woman, you don't need to be out here making friends with all these other men, bringing other men into your life. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't care what man tells you that he isn't trying to get with you. If he's your friend, he's trying to get with you. The opportunity just has not afforded itself yet. So you need to stay out of the face of other men if you are married, and men with women if you are married, because temptations are out there and they can be very severe. I would never have myself up under another married man constantly. I digress on that. I just had to say that because Destiny is annoying doing that. She's like, Martell is my friend too. No, was married to Mel. Leave Martell alone. You shouldn't even be picking up the phone to call Martell unless it's business with your business. Maybe he needs to drop off another box of oil for the place to sell or something like that. But other than that, you need to leave Martell alone. That's probably why your marriage ended. You always got your tail in front of some other man. I digress on that. Okay, let me move forward. I need to get through this, right? So, um, they, okay, one moment, you guys. I'm sorry. Let me see what he wants. Okay, you guys, I'm back. Sorry. Okay, so here we go. So, where did I get to? Okay, so Kimmy is trying to talk to Tiffany, and she tells Tiffany, you want us to be transparent, but then you don't want to be transparent. But as Kimmy is talking to Tiffany about that, she's rubbing and touching her arm. Kimmy, that's what a bully. That's why I said Kimmy is a bully. I do believe Miss Wanda about Kimmy. I really do. Kimmy, keep your hands to yourself. She did the same thing to Tisha on Tiffany and Lewis's anniversary. Remember they had the baseball game and Tiffany and Kimmy had a disagreement about the text. She was touching Tisha. She always is trying to say something antagonistic and trying to smooth it over. And so she touches you to make you think she doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter if you mean anything or not. If you are being antagonistic, keep your hands to yourself because you don't know what the other person is capable of. You may be trying to smooth it over in a debate while you're talking to someone, then you put your hands on them, and then they may jump in a way that you don't want them to. So keep your hands to yourself, Kimmy. And I just, something about Kimmy doesn't sit good with me. And I know people out there love her. She's a favorite. And I like her on the show, of course, because she's married to a Scot and, they are all in that real estate developer type of mindset for the community. So I like her there. And I liked her idea about bringing it all full circle so that they could bring an end to the comeback group. She did that in an episode where she called a meeting because they needed to know, okay, where do we stand? Because we haven't met since this time. So I like that part that she can bring it back to that. I also enjoyed her meeting with Patricia, okay? Because Patricia knows where all the dead bodies are, okay? She knows where the bodies are buried. Um, so my whole thing here with Tiffany is she's just very ethos, or her spirit is just really off if you pay attention to the language that she talks about. So they get ready, they show the video, and I love this song, Telltale Signs. I really like it. And it really has a mixture of modern day and old school R&B, you know? I really like it. Did you guys like Melody's song? If you did, get down in the comments and let me know what you thought about her music. It was really um I really like that. I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get her music. Melody, despite her circumstances, you guys, I mean, you have to give it up for her. You as a woman, you have to give it up for her. She has overcome a lot. She's overcome a lot. And in doing so, she's been able to hold down a business, create God said go products, be a mother, um, and and create her music career. Um, she and just she's just really quite amazing. I love this young woman. She is a great example for other young black women. I really like her. And you know what? The Real Housewives, please take note, honey, because all you old hags, okay? And you got this young woman out here doing this daggone thing, just doing it. And she's beautiful for it. Martel shows up after the video. And it's just well, I felt I need to be here. Mel and I, we started this thing when we were married. And you know what? Production does flashbacks of him saying he didn't want her uh, uh, to start her career while they were married. But then he goes on to say, I think I should get 50% because, I was there from the beginning. You didn't even want her to do it. And she didn't even start it until after the divorce, really, because she had to get through some of the pain. She had to get through at least 10% of the pain in order for her to even start her music career after you. So no, you don't need it. Martel, you have not been there. The only thing you've done is you cheated. You had a baby. You called her a hoe. You just you're just out of control. You scream at her in public, and no, Melody, don't you give him a dime. Please remember, and Melody has a heart, so I have to go in on her like this, okay? But she will give him a dime. Don't give him a dime. You understand me, Melody? Okay? Martell took $17,000 out of the account before you could even get to it, and it was all that you guys had in there, and he knew that you were taking care of the kids. So he goes and takes $17,000 out of the account. He should have used that $17,000 to uh leverage it somehow so that he can get his broker's license. Martell needs to take at least one season out, at least one, and work on his broker's license, come back the next season with his broker's license and ready to pay some child support. But I guess I don't know, can they do that? They probably can't because they are sharing custody 50-50. So if he pays it, she would have to pay it. So okay, never mind. Whatever. It's just don't give him a dime, Melody. Okay? And I mean it. Martell is another one who has a bad ethos. So that's it, you guys. That is really pretty much it. Yeah, I need to go back and do this. Destiny takes Mel aside. I think I may have said this out of turn or out of order. I just wanted to make the point that Mel, with all due respect, you guys, needs to uh stay away from Destiny. She needs to keep a certain distance from Destiny. And I know that's difficult to do. She's on the show, whatever, what have you. It's okay to deal with her from an executive producer level and from the standpoint of being on the show, but you don't need to talk to Destiny every day, Melody. You don't need to talk to Destiny every day. So, um, and I say this because Destiny, you guys, sometimes, this is a little deep for some of you. You have to look and pay attention to the language and the tone and the manner in which people are communicating with you. When Destiny took Mel aside, she wanted Mel to agree to be her village. Mel can't be your village. She has 4 children, girl. And she told you she didn't need you to be her village because she has a village. That should be acceptable. The thing that stood out to me was when Destiny was saying to Melody, you know, you have a village and I don't. That's like saying, I want what you have. That language is an envious type of language. She envies Mel. Envy is why Cain murdered Abel. Did you guys hear me? Envy is why Cain killed Abel. When you have a friend who is saying things to you that let you know they want to be you, you need to step back. So it's not enough that she's friends with Mel's ex-husband. Now she wants Mel's village. Eventually, she will do something to Mel that will completely disbar that relationship. I'm trying to give you guys some wisdom here, and I know we're supposed to see this as just a show. It's a reality show, and some of these things are very real. Melody needs to step back from Destiny, and she needs to step back from Martel. Martel has some uh psychotic mannerisms and ways that if those cameras had not been there, I don't know what he might have done to Mel. He seems like he's trying to get himself together. I'm glad. If you go over to his Instagram, he seems like he's trying to get himself together. I hope he does. But is that going to cure his ethos? Is that going to cure his ethos? Destiny has an ethos as well. It's abandonment. She is trying to get Melody to fulfill her abandonment issues because Melody doesn't have those issues. Listen, I know women like Van. Melody ain't got no issues with mother abandonment. And her mother was enough, you guys, really, that she didn't really need the dad. I mean, I hate to say that it's a one in a million uh life event where you will have a mom who is enough that you don't really miss your dad. You want your dad in your life, but your mother's enough that you don't really, you didn't miss nothing. Really, it happens. I'm just saying, I'm just saying these things, okay? This is my commentary, my review. If you disagree, you can also get in the comments and tell me you disagree. I hope you enjoyed it because it is the end. The reunion is coming up, you guys, and it's gonna be off the heezy for sheezy, as Snoop Dogg would say. It's gonna be off the heezy for sheezy my kneesy. Let me tell you, Carlos King is going to be bringing it on like Andy Cohen, and he's going to be asking the questions. I love that he is hosting the reunion. I love that Carlos King. I've seen him before. He's done other reality shows that have been small, and I've seen them on was it BET? He's done some others on some other shows as well. I remember he did one with something the 15. You know, he's done a lot. And I'm glad to see what happens. He's an example for black men too. He he started out small and he didn't give up. And he has just expounded. So kudos to him. Um, I just want to thank all of you who are subscribers. If you are not a subscriber, please click the like button, the subscriber button, and the notifications bell. And you guys remember, um, if you come here often, eventually we can get on here and have some dialogue because oftentimes I'm here talking to myself. I have done over 100 videos. I cannot believe I still have under 1,000 subscribers. I have done some research. I've done some clips in case I need them. There are shows on here who have under 100 and they have thousands of subscribers. And hurts my feelings, but I'm so happy for the ones I do have. So thank you so much. And remember to mind your spirit or mind your ethos. Much peace, love, and many blessings to you. Okay? Have a good one.